Licensed Professional Counselor (LPC) is a licensure for mental health professionals in some countries. In the U.S., licensed professional counselors, or in some states, licensed clinical professional counselors or licensed mental health counselors provide mental health and substance abuse care to millions of Americans. Licensed professional counselors (LPCs) are master's degreed mental health service providers, trained to work with individuals, families, and groups in treating mental, behavioral, and emotional problems and disorders. LPCs make up a large percentage of the workforce employed in community mental health centers, agencies, and organizations, and are employed within and covered by managed care organizations and health plans. LPCs also work with active duty military personnel and their families, as well as veterans. Licenses are awarded for professional counselors (LPC) and professional counselor supervisors (LPCS). Interns are identified with the corresponding suffix I (LPCI), and licensed professional counselor associates, with the suffix A. This also applies to licensed therapists, as in the case of licensed marriage and family therapists (LMFT) who are designated as LMFTA. In U.S., the exact title varies by state, but the other most frequently used title is Licensed Mental Health Counselor (LMHC). Several U.S. states, including Illinois, Maine, and Tennessee, have implemented a two-tier system whereby both the LPC and LCPC or equivalent are used. In those states, higher-tier professionals are granted the privilege to practice independently. However, in most states, LPCs or LMHCs may practice independently. Licensed professional counselors are one of the 6 types of licensed mental health professionals who provide psychotherapy in the United States. In addition to their education, LPCs must obtain supervised clinical experience and must pass a state licensing exam. Different states require one of several different licensing examinations. Examples are the National Counselor Examination for Licensure and Certification (NCE), as well as the National Certified Mental Health Counselor Examination (NCMHCE). LPCs are regulated by federal and state laws, which either protect the title of LPC or LMHC or actually define the scope of practice of a professional counselor and stipulate certain client protections. If an LPC is also a member of a professional association or has received additional certifications, they must adhere to the codes of ethics of the professional association or certification body with which they have aligned. Requirements for professional counselors, United States, LPC or variation, for example LCPC, LMHC, etc. Licensure is recognized in 50 states in the United States, as well as the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico. The requirements vary from one jurisdiction to the next. Most states require some combination of a master's degree, counseling experience and supervision, as well as passing a national examination, such as the National Counselor Examination (NCE) and or the National Clinical Mental Health Counseling Examination (NCMHCE). 2. A summary of requirements from the State of Texas LPC Board serves as an example. 3 requirements vary from state to state. For example, practicum internship requirements during the master's degree vary significantly between states, that is, 300 in Texas and 1,000 in Vermont. Course requirements and credit amount also vary, making reciprocity between states difficult for many licensed counselors. A master's degree or doctoral degree in counseling or a related field. Academic coursework in each of the following areas: normal human growth and development, abnormal human behavior, appraisal or assessment techniques, counseling theories, counseling methods or techniques individual and group, research, lifestyle and career development, social, cultural and family issues, and professional orientation. As part of the graduate program, a supervised practicum experience that is primarily counseling in nature. The practicum should be at least 300 clock hours with at least 100 clock hours of direct client contact. Academic credit for the practicum must appear on the applicant's transcript. After completion of the graduate degree and before application, an applicant must take and pass the National Counselor exam and the Texas Jurisprudence exam. After receiving a temporary LPC license from the board, the applicant may begin the supervised postgraduate counseling experience internship. 3,000 clock hours with at least 1,500 being direct client contact of internship under the supervision of a board-approved supervisor is required. The 3,000 clock hours may not be completed in a time period of less than 18 months. Exemptions: some states, such as Oregon, have broad exemptions that allow the practice of professional counseling without a license. 4. In Alabama, nothing in the chapter regulating professional counseling applies to the activities, services, titles, and descriptions of persons employed as professionals or as volunteers in the practice of counseling for IRS-recognized 501c3 public and private nonprofit organizations or charities. Alabama Code 34-8A3A6. Canada, in the Canadian province of Quebec, the Ordre des Conseillers et Conseillers d'Orientation et Psychoéducateurs et Psychoéducatrices du Québec occupe grants counselor licensure. The Canadian Counseling and Psychotherapy Association, CCPA, offers a distinct certification, Canadian Certified Counselor 300, separate from the regular professional membership. 5. The Canadian Professional Counselors Association (CPCA) is a national competency-based association that provides the designation of Registered Professional Counselor (RPC) to its members. Unlike degree-based associations, a specific degree level does not automatically qualify applicants for membership. Instead, the CPCA requires core competencies in education and experience prior to taking a qualifying exam and undergoing psychological testing as part of the membership application process. Counselors must then embark on a 2-year candidacy under the supervision of an approved clinical supervisor prior to becoming a full member. The CPCA membership roles are a mixture of diploma, bachelor, master, and PhD level degree holders, and its primary purpose is the protection of the public and the promotion of competency in the mental health profession in Canada. 6. China. The Ministry of Labor and Human Resources grants counselor licensure. Malaysia. In Malaysia, Lembaga Consular Malaysia grants counselor licensure.